is that time of year again. My Christmas tree is up and I'm ready to do some decorating in my apartment, but I'm gonna start particularly with the tree this year. This year, I really wanna have a DIY forward holiday. I love crafting, I love getting tactile with my hands, and I feel like the holidays has so many opportunities to do that, whether it's for doing things like DIY gifts or DIY decor or DIY activities that you do to get in the festive spirit, like handmade cards or baking cookies for friends and family. I love all of those things. So this year, when it came time to thinking about how to decorate my Christmas tree, the thought of doing some more DIY ornaments and decor on my Christmas tree specifically came up, and I thought that'd be a fun activity to take you along with me for today. So we're really focusing exclusively on the tree today. I do still plan to use the stuff that I have, so it's not gonna be all DIY by any means, but there are quite a few projects I wanna try out this year for the first time, and I think it'd just be fun to bring you along with me as I DIY-ish my tree. So let's get started, shall we? I already put up the tree so you guys didn't have to see me do that for the millionth time. I feel like I filmed myself putting up this tree a million times. It hasn't been a million. It's been probably like 5, but still. 2024 was the year of the bow. I feel like I saw bows on everything. Everyone wanted bows on their water bottle, bow DIYs, bow plates, like just bows everywhere is what my Pinterest feed and my TikTok feed were filled with. It was the chevron of 2024. If you know, you know. Honestly, bows are cute, but I don't think like I became as obsessed as the masses did. However, I feel like bows and the holidays just seem like they go hand in hand. I saw some inspo pics of people using bows to decorate their tree. Now, I don't want to decorate my tree exclusively with just bows because I have many beautiful ornaments I want displayed. I always put a ribbon on my tree of some sort, just like traditionally around the tree as we're used to seeing. I have like this beautiful plaid one that I think is an old one from even a family Christmas tree. I feel like this ribbon's been in my family for a little bit. And this is one of my newer ones. This is a traditional classic wine red. I love this ribbon. So my inclination is to go with this one because I feel like this will match the garland situation a little bit better than the other options or this option, but I thought it'd be fun to add some ribbon in the form of bows too. So I got these two from Michael's. This is like more of a copper on my left. On camera it's coming off more brown, but definitely a traditional copper look. And this one is striped, so I think match really well with the copper. So I think this would be a good pairing. I also want to see how many bows I can make out of this because maybe I don't need the red ribbon, although I feel like I probably will. Lots in the air. So let's start off by like figuring out how to make some bows. I'm not gonna lie to you, the first one that I tried of these probably took me about 25 minutes to nail down. I was hating my life because it just was not feeling like it was worth it. But once you do a few of these ribbons, it actually comes together quite quickly. So I will say that if you want to try this out for yourself, you just kind of have to stick with it. Go through the growing pains, look up a couple tutorials if the one that worked for me didn't work for you, and try not to get frustrated because at the end of the day, this is supposed to be fun and you will figure it out. Have faith in that. Look, in that time I made another one. I'm gonna adjust it a bit. I love the fact that I got one with a pattern on it, like a really basic pattern, but a pattern nonetheless. Because I think if it was just solid colors, not that it wouldn't look cute, but this gives it just a little bit of a elevated look. I think the stripedness of it. So I'm going to finish up these. Got this ribbon and the copper ribbon both from Michael's. I'll try and link them down below, the exact specific ones I got. I got them for $3.50 each. And I think that's such a great price considering these bows seem like they're going to completely change the whole aesthetic feel of my tree this year. And that's so refreshing to know that you can do it. You can make such a big change with something so little. I think I'm gonna lean to a different direction for the tree. I'm even looking at some of my ornaments and thinking maybe I'll pull the reds out and not go red at all this year. I know I talked about possibly doing that red ribbon, but I think the red is too much. Like, let the copper and cream have its moment. Not to be like boring beige Christmas, because I think I'm still gonna have some whimsy in my decor, so it still feels like very festive and approachable. You know, I don't want it to be cold, but I'm down for a change because I've done the traditional red Christmas vibe quite a bit. But anyways, keep going. You had to have suspected when I said DIY Christmas tree-ness that I was going to bring crochet into the mix here. And if you did guess that correctly, then ding, ding, ding. Winner, Ganyo. If you're in Ontario, you get that reference. I'm gonna use this beautiful cream, and I felt like this is going to be a great opportunity to create a really great garland that I had seen online. It seemed super simple when I saw the tutorial. I'll include the creator and the tutorial with a link in the description box below. I've made one strand of it. I have to make another one with this one, but I can confirm it is easy and so pretty. So get ready for the reveal here. The one skein of this yarn turns into this much garland, and the creator did say that for a typical 7-foot tree you probably need 2, so that's why I need to do another one. But how adorable is this? I feel like it looks expensive, and I think that in part has to do with the fact that the fabric is pretty matte, and there's something about it that reminds me of popcorn. Like, I feel like I just made fake popcorn garland that will last forever. I don't know, making this in particular just felt special because this feels like something that is going to be in my Christmas decor for years and years on end. And the fact that I made it, and I can say like every year when I pull it out, like, oh yeah, this is a garland that I made, like I crocheted this. I think it's so special and is inspiring me to look at even more intricate versions of garland for next year or the year after. The yarn for this one was $6.99 each. So for, you know, under $15, I'm getting a whole new set of garland. Obviously, it does require manpower hours, so it's not completely just the financial cost. It's also the cost of your time. But I was like so happy doing this. I was able to do it even while on FaceTime with a friend of mine. And like, what a perfect match this is gonna be with the bows. I'm so happy. This is actually a garland I used last year. I bought it, and it also has this DIY look to it. They're more pom-poms. You see, this is a little bit more warmer in tone, which I'm looking forward to because I think the tree is leaning warmth this year. But I think I could use this somewhere else in the apartment for another purpose because these aren't very long. I'll find another way to use these guys. I must find out what this is gonna look like. Okay, so I've got both the garland, the crocheted garland, and the bows on my Christmas tree. And I don't know how it happened, but my copper bow matches my kind of coppery tree topper quite well. I didn't even intend that, but it looks very cohesive, especially with the more warm tone skirt that I also have at the bottom of the tree. That was a new purchase from last year, and so is the tree topper. But I think these bows add such a whimsical little touch to the tree, and I do really love it paired with the crocheted garland. There's something really warm about this tree, very like artsy put together. So we're gonna keep going with some handmade stuff, but I can't believe what a transformation I've made to my tree with very like little money spent. This is just so cute, and I love especially the ribbons, how easy it is to swap these out next year. For the bows, I just placed them on the tree as so because they have a lot of stability, but I have seen the hack of like adding some floral wire and tying it to the tree. I think if I had like kids or something, like I was worried about even a pet shaking the tree, I'd be more concerned, but I don't think that's gonna be an issue. So I'm just sticking them on like that. It's so fun. I'm gonna jig it up a little bit as I go because I don't want like too much of the same color concentrated in one spot. I'm currently at my parents' place. I'm a little water. Hydration, always a good idea. I'm doing some more crafting on the floor, and while I'm here watching some Netflix, the little crafting adventure that I'm doing today that is forcing me to try new skills is creating felt ornaments. These are little sugar cookies that I think are adorable. This was my first one, so it's a little wonky, but honestly, I think the wonkiness, the imperfectionness of it adds to the whole like homemade aesthetic of these ornaments. This one is a lot stronger, so I suspect that as I go, this is just going to get better and better, but I do love both of them. I used different colored embroidery string to get colored sprinkles on here. I think this is so cute. I'll probably make a few more cookie versions because I like the neutralness, but the fun aspect to them as well. I think they'll go really well with the tree theme I have going on right now. But I want to pivot and make a green one. So I've already used a cookie cutter to trace out my Christmas tree with pencil. This is probably the more difficult part because you need really sharp scissors, and unfortunately I've not been able to get my hands on very sharp scissors here. And you need to keep both pieces of felt that you're cutting, because you need two pieces to sew together. You need to keep them perfectly together as you're cutting this so that you don't end up with two different sized Christmas trees. But I am having to learn how to sew a little bit here. I don't do a lot of sewing. I want to get better at that skill because I think sewing, especially when it comes to clothing repairs, is such a handy life skill. Okay, there we go. So we've got our two felt pieces. This one I think I'm going to make solid green. Am I going to do that? Wait, or do I want to do some icing on it? Oh, that could be fun. I used the bigger tree for the green, but for the cream icing, I'll use a smaller tree of the same shape. So I highly recommend having two of the same shape cookie cutters, just in different sizes. You could also print like a template online, cut it out, and just use that as your tracer. I would have liked my icing to be a little bit bigger, but that's okay. The first thing I have to do now is stitch my icing onto my green felt. So I think for that, I'm going to use the white embroidery thread. What's really great about this project though is it is super cost effective. Felt is really cheap at a craft store. I think I paid less than $1 for each sheet. One sheet can give you like at minimum 4 ornaments, like 4 large ornaments, but I'm probably gonna get 5 or 6 ornaments from one sheet, or 2 sheets, I guess, because I need 2. So the felt is super inexpensive. This embroidery that I bought, this little kit I got from the dollar store. This was $3 for all of this, including some white and black. But I also went to Michael's and got embroidery yarn, and it was really cheap. And you just need sewing needles and scissors. Like, it's not expensive. Definitely a little like tedious of a task to do, but also something that I am gonna watch some holiday movies while I do, so that I can just kind of get into the festive spirit. The ornaments are complete, and these guys are just so cute. Like, come on, look at that. We did a white star here with some pink borders. I just think they're very whimsy. That's kind of like the vibe of the tree. I also feel like this is another one of those things that is going to be so special to have in my ornament box for years to come. Look at that one. Scrumptious. I just want to eat those. I didn't feel like I needed to add the little hanging yarn because honestly these are great fillers in the tree, and because they're so light they can just like stick in there, kind of like what I did with the bows. But I felt like for future reasons it'd be a good idea to add the little string. Now that I've got my DIY'd ornaments on the tree, I've got my regular box of ornaments, and I'm gonna see which ones kind of fit with what's going on here. I'm glad that I started with the DIY'd ornaments though, so that I know that those are on the tree, because that's kind of like the look I'm going for this year. But there's lots of goodies that I think are gonna work well. Like, for example, some wooden trees. I also feel like this squishmallow will be perfect. These little mini squishmallows are actually great tree fillers. Oh my gosh, I crocheted this last year, so look at that. A little moose head ornament I'm gonna add. Oh my gosh, this one's so good. As you guys know, I love reading, so I had to make some sort of bookish themed ornament, and I've seen this around for a couple years now, and I'm finally giving it a whirl for myself. I'm essentially going to cut out a ton of mini books of books I've actually read this year, and kind of use this as like a time capsule of some of my favorite 2024 reads, but it will be located on my tree. So in theory, I could do this time and time again. I'm just cutting out all my book covers right now. Now, something that's really important when doing this is to ensure you print out 2 copies of each cover, because your book needs a front and a back. You absolutely can do this with scissors, but honestly, my paper cutter is one of my favorite tools because it makes jobs like this so seamless. I'll have this one linked down below if I can find it, or at least one from this company. I will eventually get my scissors out because the little tiny cuts in between each book are definitely going to just be faster to do by hand than by just lining them up. You know, I think time stamped ornaments are so great because it really does take you back and remind you while you're decorating your tree and while you're looking at it about different moments in your life. So this is just another way of honoring that, but when it comes to your reading. Now all my little tiny books are cut out and they're so cute, my little book covers. And the next step is to cut out the foam board. So I just took some Bristol board that honestly it has seen better days, but it makes it perfect for this project because I don't need it anymore. And I'm going to use an X-Acto knife to very carefully cut this to the dimension that I need it to be. So I'm going to use a ruler to help guide my cut. I've already penciled in the measurement that I'm dealing with, and actually I think I want to do it so that I'm cutting from this side. I want no injuries, so going to be careful here. Okay, now I've got these strips that I can glue my covers onto and simply cut. I'm using these little adhesive squares to do the adhesive to the foam board because I just think that's going to be easier. Place one down and then place a cover. Before I go too far in this, I want to test it out so that if I'm royally screwing this up, I can fix the problem. They darts. Well, this is quite fun. Look at that. Now these don't have to be perfect because truly they are going to be in an ornament. No one's going to be inspecting them with precision. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. I've got my stack of tiny little books. These are adorable. I'm obsessed. I kind of want to just like play with them. I don't know how I would play with little fake books, but they're so fun. I love them. And now I need to put them into my ornament. So I've got two sized ornaments here. One is larger and I feel like I don't have enough books to really fill this up. The other one is smaller. So I think that might be the move. This ornament was $2.99 at Michael's and I think I even got it on for a sale. So really inexpensive ornament to put together if this is something that intrigues you. And then ta-da! Now I'm gonna fill up my ornament by just placing my books in. There we go, there are my books. And I simply now need to close this. Oh my God, so cool. Tree is now done. I'm so happy with how all the little DIYs turned out this year. It just makes me feel excited now to even decorate the rest of my apartment and kind of bring that spirit into other areas I'm decorating as well. So stay tuned for that. I want to know in the comment section down below which DIY was your favorite and what you may consider trying for yourself. This is a time of year that can come with a lot of expectations and pressure and timelines and trying to get everything done by a certain date by the time Santa gets here. And I like this idea of slowing down and savoring the process by actively engaging in the process, and that's what I feel like these DIYs have allowed me to do. I'll see you guys soon with a new one. Until then, ciao ciao.
Santa, tell me when you'll show yourself to me. Help me find who my baby will be. Santa, tell me when you'll show yourself